My name is Joanne Cheigh, and I'm from Cisco's Consulting Services team in Singapore. Here today, we at Cisco, the world leader of networking technologies, which powers the internet and the digital world today, are very honored to be here with you to share our vision of the retail technology future. As you know, India's retail industry is going through an unprecedented growth through a confluence of these consumer trends crossing social, demographic, technology. The growth rate is estimated to be 12% and going up to $950 billion by year 2018 by KPMG. Largely, this growth is driven by rise of e-commerce across both unorganized and organized retail. Currently, 92% of the retail industry is driven by unorganized, but that share would soon to change based on how e-commerce is shifting the market dynamics. Currently, India's e-commerce market is going through an interesting inflection point, which was observed in China and also in the United States some years back. Both these countries, when the internet penetration hit 20% of the total population, has essentially changed the trajectory of their e-commerce market by exploding completely. India is currently at that place today. Of total e-commerce sales in India, 41% of that is driven by mobile, which is the highest in the world today. China is a distant second at 33% of the e-commerce sales being driven by mobile, and US is not in the top 5 in the world. US's total mobile share of the e-commerce sales is only 12%. What this means is that for retail business today, the lucrative retail middle mass market is disappearing very fast. With consumers having more control over information, product, pricing, competitors' data, the switching cost for them is absolutely zero. This makes the new business models of today very, very challenging. Whether you like it or not, your consumers today are putting you into one of two places, either lowest value perception or the highest, best quality perception. There is no more lucrative mass market middle where the profit may be more attractive. So everyone is now competing for customer experience in the middle. The differentiation to your competitors could be a click away. So what to do when the consumers are driving sales and decision and purchasing at the touch of a button? We believe that Internet of Everything is the next frontier in the digital era. Beyond omnichannel, beyond digital touchpoints like social media, we believe that the Internet of Everything combines all the aspects of digital channels and touchpoints, analytics, social media, and brings us to a new world where consumers and retailers must interact in a more seamless, fully integrated, connected way. What this means is that the Internet of Everything value is not just in the matter of connecting things together, which means your stock inventory or your CRM data. It's actually the value comes from the connection between everything that you run and operate. That means combining your processes, your operations, your inventory management, your point of sales, your customer data, as well as your employee data. Connecting the 4 aspects of people, process, data, and things. And things has been the most publicized and recently mentioned trend, right? Because it's more of a machine-to-machine conversation, and there's a lot of new technologies covering that, from sensor networks to things that monitor and engage and measure and track back information to you. But the overall value for the retail industry comes from connecting absolutely everything within your retail operations together and trying to gain intelligence from it. The shopping journey, because of all these technology confluences and disruptions, have changed irrevocably completely. Before e-commerce took off, before there was Amazon, 10, 15 years ago, the customer journey was a simple linear 3 steps. They may be already in your store browsing, researching what they want to buy. They may have seen an advertisement in print or TV or heard a radio commercial. Or they may have received a catalog in the mail, or they may have picked up a coupon or some promotional brochure. And then they would decide to purchase. They would go to the store, or they might call. Then they would actually pick up the product, and then if they need support, they might have to essentially reach out, again, go back to the store or call a call center. It was very simple. But when e-commerce became more mature and it became omnichannel, this became a little bit more complicated. The interactions became more fragmented. Customers had more choices. There were different modes of delivery, They could buy online and possibly pick up elsewhere. They could do cash on delivery. There were different payment modes to consider. And now we're at the Internet of Everything era where that complexity has increased. And how are retailers to deal with that? The challenges of managing operations where you can handle multiple digital channels are attuned to everything that the customer is doing, what they're doing inside your store, as well as what they're possibly saying about you on social media, as well as what the new trends are coming up that you need to be aware of so that you can adapt in order to respond. This becomes much more difficult today. But the benefit of that is that with more data sources, there are obviously more connections, and data just becomes more vital, and everything is leaving a data trail. Every device, every shipment, every store, every employee, every shopper, every sensor leaves a data trail that can be accumulated and combined to form business intelligence and smarter decisions. Take something like the Nike Fuel Band or Fitbit, which is a wristband that you wear 24 hours, and it'll track how you sleep at night. It'll track how many steps you take in a day. It'll track all your movement, and you can check the progress through a mobile phone or through a website and modify your fitness routine if you have any health goals, and etc. So if moving, living, eating human being can be a connected asset, and generate data, imagine what consumers who are in some way already a connected asset for you, possibly through their mobile phone, can do for you. The challenge is now, what do you want to do with it, and how can you serve them better so that they are more loyal to you and will come back to you? So with all that data, there's just 3 steps to making better decisions to run your business smarter. First is even tracking it, the basics, the foundations of current customer traffic and the conversion rate, which I'm sure everyone is already tracking and trying to improve based on what you've learned in your day-to-day business. That's happening right now. How many are coming in, when, where, how is this store doing versus that store, what's selling and what's not so selling. But then the next is trying to accumulate that data over time and building a history. And trying to find patterns and root causes into why they're doing certain things and what the new possible patterns are that are emerging for you. This way you can choose and compare, you can run experiments, you can run one campaign in one city but change the campaign a different way in another city. You can do A/B testing, you can try different things and see what the trigger points are that will actually increase sales for the business. So the final step, the final nirvana of analytics is that in the future, you take currently what's happening, the historical data and the patterns that you've identified, and becoming more predictive and being able to sense and respond in real time. And this is the leading edge, and this is where Internet of Everything could also bridge the last mile gap for you and provide more information so that you could be that intelligent retailer that could put that right marketing promotion in their customer's mobile phone at the point of consideration and rejection. So to understand how retailers can navigate this increasingly complex landscape, Cisco conducted an IOE retail study recently in the United States and UK. We interviewed thought leaders. We drew upon lessons from our consulting engagements, real consulting engagements with retail customers, and we surveyed 1,240 consumers and asked what they thought about different digital and IOE-enabled interactions in their shopping journey. So an IOE-enabled retail environment could look like something like this. From outside as well as inside, the store could provide digital signage or augmented reality interactions through a mobile app or digital display that could offer you suggestions or help you choose and research your product better. It could also help you decide faster. It could send you marketing information or product usage information or related product information. There could be advertising. There could be some sort of engagement activity based on your loyalty program participation, and etc. The responses from consumers were obviously overwhelmingly towards more savings, and if they can get more savings when they want, exactly how they want, that would be ideal. But across 3 categories of value delivered, efficiency came up being quite significant, and that's where retailers could have the best promise for greatest value in terms of what they deliver. These are the 19 IOE retail concepts we tested with consumers, and among efficiency, which is all about having consumers have less hassle and faster time to purchase and ease of solving problems in the sales process, this was the winner. And checkout optimization ended up being 77% preference, having 77% preference for usage by consumers. Savings was the next category where obviously discounts and promotions are highly desired, and they would like it inside store when they're actually there trying to buy and trying to make up their mind. They wouldn't mind interesting new offers delivered through augmented reality, and augmented reality could be essentially delivered through a mobile app or digital display inside the store. And obviously this is impacted by what product category that you're in. But nonetheless, customers all had high willingness to try and use these things in order to actually, one, gain efficiency in their shopping journey, and two, get value, their perceived value at the time that they want. We took one of the use cases, something called checkout optimization, and we did a pilot with a large general merchandiser US customer. And in that pilot project, our economic model showed that you could have 15.6 profit increase by connecting previously unconnected dark assets such as a shopping cart. So just to share what we did is that we essentially put video cameras in the parking lot where the analytics capabilities could see how many parking slots are empty versus full. So this essentially gave an advanced anticipation in terms of when the peak would come in 15 minutes time or more inside the store. Another thing was we connected 80 shopping carts with active RFID tags as well as tablets with software that essentially could track when the customer moved through the store through different zones which had RFID readers, and also from the tablet, once the item, which was also tagged, was put inside the shopping cart, the tablet would show related product information to possibly increase sales for additional items. So things were connected, data was collected, and we also are able to analyze the process in real time. So we would track when the customers would take the shopping cart and move through different zones in the store, and we were able to tell 10 minutes before or 5 minutes before when the peak time would come at the cash registers. In which case, we were able to send an alert to the store manager to give them a warning, and the store manager could redeploy his store staff from, let's say, in the stock room to the front line to anticipate the peak. Now, this model is clearly more relevant in the West, such as US, where labor cost is very high for employees, and customer frustration is very, very high also, leaving high abandonment rate inside the store after they actually fill the shopping cart. But the impact of this is quite significant. But the biggest lesson learned is that did the real value of this come from just accessing a lot of data, having a lot of data? No. It wasn't that we connected the things that were unconnected. It wasn't that we had the data. It wasn't really the process of analysis and getting insight. It was able to create an actionable insight for the store manager to not cause a peak at the cash register, thereby not losing any sales that were about to happen. So the real value in the connections in the Internet of Everything is that what actionable insight can you actually do to change customer behavior at the point of risk of losing that sale. So in summary, we're all here because the digital disruptions and the Internet of Everything and technology trends are changing our everyday business. And the implication of this is going to accelerate. The changes will be completely mind-boggling. There will be more changes coming in the future than we have seen so far. And IOE is the next frontier of this digital era. And the value of this starts by knowing what currently unconnected assets can be connected for your particular business that you want to gain insights from and how you want to make changes. And the key to getting the value is getting that last mile and connecting people and devices and insights and data and knowing what to do with that data. And the people could be your own employees, or they could be your customers. So what's next? Let's all be digital innovators. Let's experiment and learn. And thank you. If you have any questions, our team is here and talk to you all about all our solutions that we have available that impact the retail industry. We're very excited to speak with you about your current